Good morning. Back to the bow of the boat. Good to see everybody here, because I know you're there. Otherwise, you wouldn't be seeing me. I am no longer at Fort Pierce City Marina. That was filmed a couple months ago, the massive upgrades. And if you're watching this, you definitely want to go back and see that video, because 90% of what was explained in that video will not be explained in this video. And most of what I say won't make that much sense to you. So you'll want to go back and get that. I'll put the link below for sure, if not up there somewhere, if you can still do that. I'm not sure. Anyways, this is the Safe Harbor Marina. It's about 2 miles north of the Fort Pierce City Marina. Now, why would I have changed marinas? Well, the real reason is because between the two marinas is a bridge which is no taller than 65 feet. Now, that wasn't a problem coming in initially because I didn't have a mast. I still don't have a mast, but obviously I have to move before I get a mast. So what does all that mean? That means I'm getting prepared to put my mast on, finally. I've been working the last few days, probably the last couple of weeks, intensely on prepping the mast to be stepped, which is today. There's a lot of stuff on the mast that we needed to do. We put radars, lighting, cameras, lightning prevention, all the normal stuff you find on the mast, and I'm sure there's things that I'm not even thinking of at the moment. That and many of the other subjects that I'll cover very quickly on this video will all be a subject for a video themselves in the future. So don't worry if you want to know some details on
Integrity is a 45-foot catamaran that will be fully renovated for a 10-year global circumnavigation. Join me virtually and/or actually as I transverse the globe.
So this is Safe Harbor. Straight out there is the intercoastal waterway. I'll probably actually make a video on that, just to talk about the intercoastal waterway, which is a deal in and of itself. I also will be making a video about Fort Pierce, the marinas themselves in the city. It's really a pretty cool place, and quite a few people, I think, don't know what Fort Pierce is all about and what's available here. So I'll do a video on that. So that'll be coming also. But this is Safe Harbor. It's mostly known for the boatyard you see in the background there. You can see the shed, and I'm going to be going to the lift. I'm sorry, when he uses a lift, but the slip. Haul out slip over there beyond the gentleman shining that dome on the top of that boat right there, and we're going to use the haul out slip that I actually used to get hauled out and put back in when I was on the hard, but we're just going to sit in the slip to step the mast today with a crane. Also, right across the river here, it's actually a little river coming down into the intercoastal waterway, is Taylor Marina on the other side. That's really just a boatyard over there. So I imagine I'll also probably be doing a video just on Safe Harbor Marina here in Fort Pierce in addition, so we'll cover that. Let's get to what's going on here on the boat. Whoops, I'll put my fingers on top of everything on the cameras. So first things first, let me step back. Okay, the first thing to note here is we now have a compression beam. We talked about this on the last video, so I'm not going to cover it, but the compression beam is in fact in place, and we've taken the nets, which was originally a single net. We've split them now into two nets, and they are now in place. Also, the pulpits from Vietnam are in. They're mostly in. We found out I found a couple things about this is of interest. It looks like They're making these in Vietnam and sending them to Ryerson and Kane in South Africa, where they're put in these Leopards. But the seat made out of starboard here that we took off does not fit the new one, because the holes are very specific, obviously. And also there's no hole back here where it's supposed to be held in. So clearly these are done on a case-by-case basis. So now we are going to have to make new starboard seats, and I have had to create a new mechanism in order to keep the back end in place. So just interesting note. Got some good hat shades here. These are from Ocean South. I'll actually put a link down there if you're interested, because these are really economical. I thought it was a good deal. They're from a local company here in South Florida, and I did the whole boat for like $350, and they fit perfectly, so that's pretty cool. Let's see, what else are we doing? Let's go up. All right, we are up. The reason we're up here is because I want to point out that I've actually marked the places on the roof here as to where these solar panels are going to sit. I talked about the solar panels in the previous video, so you might want to go back and take a look at that again. But basically, the large bifacial, you can see where that's going to be housed here on these pieces of tape. And there's actually two on this side. And then here's the beginning of the next one, all the way back to almost the current solar panel sitting on the solar arch back here. So I have some smaller 200-watt solar panels. They're 24 volt. I'm not talking about the existing that come on the boat from the factory, but over here where it's taped off, they're going to be placed. I have one going forward, top to back, and I got one here going sideways. And then I've also got the ones on the bimini top here marked off. And this was going to go forward to the tape places here, and of course the same thing's going to happen on the opposite side of the roof here. Now let's see, gonna put two here in addition of the 200-watt solar panels where they're taped off, so they're kind of self-explanatory. Now these are all rigid panels, and we're gonna put flexible panels up front. We're gonna put four 200-watt panels that can reside there when I'm anchored moored on a dock. Okay, and there are said panels. These just come in the last couple days. Biden just signed an executive order a week, maybe 2 weeks ago, requiring the tariff to be increased on Chinese solar cells by 50%. I imagine that's going to impact the market, so I immediately went ahead and ordered my panels because I'm getting close to put them in. Like I said, there's the 200-watt rigid panels, 6 of them going up on the top. Each one of these have 2 of the flexible panels that are going in the netting. So there's 2 times 2 of them, or 4 of them. So that's kind of what we got going there. Okay, while I'm here, I'm thinking about it. I'm kind of wrapping up things on the dinghy. It's amazing how much time and work and things you can purchase for a dinghy, but all of them are pretty necessary. I'm not going to cover all that stuff. I'll probably have another video on that because that takes a lot. But the last couple things I'm getting are a chain, a lead chain from the anchor. I've got a Mantis anchor for that. It works really well. And then I got about a 6-foot stainless steel chain coming in to put at the head of the rode to the anchor. And I got a small swivel to put on that as well. So I think that concludes all the little items I need in order to make that function as well as I can, as comfortable as possible. And we'll talk about all that stuff sometime. Okay, on the inside, let's see what I can think of in here. First of all, how you like my mirror? It's pretty cool when you're sitting here, because one thing about the Leopard, let's see if I can zoom in here. One thing about the Leopards is you face forward, which I really like. But when you're in a marina on a dock like this, generally you want your back end and not your front end in, which means everything's happening behind you. So I put this in so as people are walking by or stuff's going on, I don't really have to turn around. I can just glance in there and figure out what's going on. Anyways, so here we are in my salon. Been doing a little organization and cleaning lately. Let's see, for instance, here's some of my power tools, which and here's some of my basic tools that I almost need every day, so I can just grab them, not open stuff, because that became a massive pain in the butt. See what else we got going on here. This is interesting. This is the shades predominantly from the British Virgin Islands that I requested when I got the boat out of the British Virgin Islands. I had to sign, I'll turn you around here for a minute. So I had to sign a conditional receipt of the vessel, and I did that subject to replacement of items they didn't actually have there, which a lot of these were shades and stuff. So almost 10 months later, I finally got them in. That's a whole video in itself. I'm going to do a whole series on chartering boats, being a charter boat owner, going through phase out, buying a charter boat. I think it's all great information. So that stuff will be coming. Directions on the cat pack. That's the sailboat or the sail pack cover. This is kind of like something my rigger dreamed up for me. That's a whole explanation. Although the mast will be going up today, the sails will not yet. So that's just another deal. Bolts, and more bolts. I'm constantly dealing with these things, taking them out, cleaning them out, getting rust off them, re-shining them. It's a never-ending process. And we're actually, this reminds me, working with a generator. I have a voltage regulator issue with my generator. We tore the electrical components out basically, and we've got a new voltage regulator to put into it. So we're going to rewire that soon. The guys are helping me here. But these are bolts for that. I've been buying most of them from the Bolt Depot. They just do, I'm really happy with them, and how quick they get stuff. And then it's impossible to get a lot of this stuff local for 3/16 stainless. Here's another order of bolts from, this is miscellaneous stuff. So you get a little idea of the intensity of this kind of stuff. Let's see, what else should I show you? We've talked about electronics. I don't know if we talked about replacing the panel. The panel will be replaced. I don't think I showed you the batteries. We talked about batteries and power last time. But I will show you the 24-volt battery house system. Let's see what this takes to get this accomplished. There we go. So what you're looking at now is 8 280 amp SOK lithium phosphate batteries. Now, these are stacked on top of each other. In other words, meaning that this top run is one of two runs. There's a run directly below them. So it's not actually 8, it's actually 16 batteries for a total of almost 50,000 watts. So it's significant. What should we talk about based on that? I think we should talk about the power. In the big picture, a showstopper has been my primary vendor, who is Ty Armstrong. You can look him up. He has his own videos. He's a great DIY kind of guy, and he's well known in the industry. Whose channel is Sailing Dauntless. Anyways, he went on a med cruise as crew, but he didn't go to the med and then go on the cruise. He actually is part of the crew taking the boat across the Atlantic to get to the med, to get to specific locations before he comes home. Now, he left approximately a month ago, and he's probably due back in a week or so. Since he was my primary vendor doing most all my electronics, my builds, my cabinetry, he'd be working like a general contractor, actually referrals to other contractors, etc. That put a real stop in a lot of my stuff. And the power system for the 24 volt system and the 24 volt house bank that you just seen, and maybe I'll show you the 12 volt really quick. We got them put together. The 24 volt is not attached. The 12 volt is running the boat at the moment. The 12 volts only 4 100 amp batteries, so it's very minor in the scheme of things, but it's what runs everything, all my classic electronics, because this is a 12 volt boat to start. So that's kind of what's happening there. So where am I going with this? Well, as with many things, this is the cabinet that will house all the electronics, and these are the wires from the 24 volt system waiting to be attached to said electronics. So this entire power room, shall we call it, is going to be completely redone, and it's going to be redone with this kind of stuff: auto transformers and link system, Servo GX. Here's a box of MPPTs. Here's 2 Quattro inverters. I actually have 3. Huh. Is this 2 or 3? Oh, there's 3. There you go. I was going to say, I don't even know where the third one is. So that's just an idea of the components waiting to be put in this boat around the power system. So when we're putting parts in systems, then we have to create ways to hold them in place. These are epoxy boards that were actually created, not the glass. Anyways, not the glass. So these were cut to size and epoxied multiple times to make sure that they're ready to be put into the basically power room as structure. So that's kind of how that's going to be. All that, of course, is going to be probably multiple future videos. So what else? Well, actually a lot. You see the mess of my one of my cabins. It's actually not bad in comparison to where it's been in the past. So the sanitation system I talked about last time, it's 90% correct, complete. Sorry, not correct. However, when I did all the final checks, made sure I got all the leaks taken care of, what I found was that it was leaking from the back of a toilet, and the toilets are like 5 to 7 years old, and they should be maintained with O-rings and other things fixed in them or replaced. So I actually bought maintenance kits to do that, and they've been sitting on the sideline because it's such a minor thing really in relationship to what needs to be done, so it's got semi-sidelined. So these heads are kind of sitting in this situation. May not take much to finish them off. An afternoon, maybe a day, I don't know. But it's just not a big deal in the big picture. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I'm using the bucket and what do they call it? Anyways, toss it method. But we have bathrooms and heads here that I can use all the time, so it's not really a problem. This is, I mentioned Ty, this is Ty's project box. So these are things to do, or we're in process. Here is the pulpit seats that I mentioned. We're redoing the ladder, probably do some of them out of starboard rather than this wood. We got to put the POCO system in for the lighting, underwater lighting that I mentioned last time, so they're not attached to anything yet. Here's the battery monitoring system for the 12 volt bank, which reminds me, I said I might show you that, so I'll look at that in a minute. Here, for instance, is our sanding and polishing. There's a whole box of that. We're doing a lot of that, and we is mostly Maddie is Ty's daughter, who I'm employing about 15 hours a week, and I'm calling her my my beautification consultant. So Maddie is doing all of the gel coat work. She's doing stainless, which I just showed you the stanchions were just put in place and prepared and ready to go in to put the new lifelines in. She's when it gets time, she will completely clean, compound, and wax the boat. So all of that beautification stuff's being handled by her. Okay, this is the bilge on the aft port side, and here we got 4 100 amp lithium batteries high up off of any possible water. And these are what's running all the classic electronics at the moment. Classics meaning existing or previously existing DC components on the boat. All right, let's see what else we can find. This has turned out to be the coolest thing, this little scooter. This goes 15 miles an hour, which is really fast on a scooter. And I just jump on it and go anywhere, and I can get across over to the boatyard in 2 minutes. I can get across down the street, up the street, and probably a half a mile down in 3 or 4 minutes to the groceries, anywhere I need to go. It's pretty amazing time saver. So anyway, just thought I'd mention that. Let's go on the other hull and see what I can find. All right, dark down here. Oh, did I mention bucket? My room, look, in a small space, you gotta actually make your bed. Now, it's not easy to make your bed in a small space either, but it just looks nasty all day long if you don't do that. My sanitation, again, in process. Literally, this stuff probably could be closed up. I don't have any issues with this. This is the toilet that I found was leaking in the back. You notice these are open. Where is it? And the really semi pulled out already, ready to go. So that's the parts that I got to do now. So that's sanitation. I think the interesting part up here is the water makers. Before Ty left, we got the water makers semi-install. I think the hard work essentially is done. These are the 2 control panels. We'll have a cover over here appropriately. He does great work, so this will look great. In this area are actually the membranes, 2 sets of membranes for 2 systems that goes all the way in and under the bridge. I'm not going to take the time to pull all that out, but that's what's happening there. I'll also for sure have a video on the water makers because it's important and the installs are rather interesting. Again, here is the filtration system in the, the starboard forward hull for the water maker. And here are the 2 24 volt DC pumps. Basically, it's going to pump the water in and then back out through the systems. You can see he's done a really nice job on the cabinetry there. And that's all that same epoxied stuff. Go back a little bit. We also have a filtration system here because we have two different systems, 2 sets of filtration. Now the purpose of this is rather than having a system with spare parts, especially when you're going to be circumnavigating, which in my view, water is one of the most important parts. So I just bought all the spare parts put together, which is called the second system. So if one system goes down, then I can just switch it over to the other system or utilize the second system and start working on ordering parts for the first system. And it was reasonably, made pretty good sense to me economically too. It wasn't that bad. All right, did I mention that we're getting the mast pulled or stepped today? I'm sure I did, of course, but This is the recording equipment to record all that. You know what? I'm still missing a piece. Hold on. Where is my other piece? Ah, here we go. Okay, this is the Pocket 3 and its mic, wireless mic. This is the DJI Pro, I think it's a 2. What are they out to? 4 or 3 now? Maybe it's a 3, I don't remember. This is a GoPro Black Hero 10. This is the DJI mic system, wireless mic system. And this is the 360. So this actually literally shoots 360 degrees like a bubble around it. So my intention is to mount this on the top of the mast before we start stepping it and gets on the crane and record all of the activity. I'll have multiple cameras going. Maybe one of the best recorded mast stepping ever, who knows? Plus, of course, I have my phone in my hand, which I'm utilizing. So that one, that video will be coming as well. All right, so yeah, mast stepping today. Lifelines being put in. Then we need to get the sail bag and the sails in, hopefully in the next couple of weeks. I got all my solar panels here sitting ready to be put on. Ty's going to come back. We should be finishing off the water makers. We should be finishing off the power system. Also, I didn't mention it, but made a determination how I'll do this. See if I can do this. This fridge freezer combo, the Vitrofrigo, I've decided to replicate this over there where the nav desk currently is. I talked about it in my previous massive upgrades video that we're going to be removing this entire place, and I'm actually going to put the Vitrofrigo in this area. Now the new ones, or the new one that I'll be purchasing, has the option to be a fridge freezer in either of the 2 compartments. So you can have fridge, freezer, fridge, freezer, or freezer, fridge, and or just have the whole thing off, which is the idea. Let's say if you're not really utilizing it, you catch a big fish, you get that freezer going, you can drop it in. So anyways, that'll be happening along with the utility room build, and oh hell, who knows what all. I can't even keep a track of it, but that's what's coming. I'll be doing a lot of videos on all this stuff, so we hope that you guys stick with us, and hopefully by November of this year I'll be out into the Bahamas. That is the intention. So hey, if you haven't yet, subscribe so you can kind of keep track of all this stuff as we get prepared to do our circumnavigation. Appreciate you. Have a great day. Thanks.